Well, hello, America, and welcome to the Glenn Beck program and to GBTV. The prediction that I made a year ago happened before Egypt fell. It happened when Tunisia fell. It was the prediction that was ruthlessly mocked, and I was called paranoid and conspiratorial. They dubbed it the Caliphate theory. That's fine. I don't really care. It's the only thing, the only thing that I have ever heard in my prayer time, quite honestly, to fall on your sword. That was the exact feeling I got, the impression I got, fall on your sword. And that's why I originally put this up on the chalkboard. And then I said, we're going to make this and put it up on the wall. My staff was there. They thought I was crazy because they knew this was trouble. But they also have been with me long enough to know that we're usually right. And so I made this into the last 6 months of Fox. And I said it every day, and I showed this board every single day because it was important for people to remember what was said. I have to tell you, I'd rather be called a kook and be alive than close my eyes and cover my ears and la 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 and be dead. Tonight, I want to take you on a tour 1 year later of the Middle East, the Arab Spring, and so much more. And you will clearly see that democracy and liberty are not the same thing. And liberty is not blossoming. Democracy is. I'll show you what democracy looks like. Those who want to restore the caliphate are blossoming. And since the media refuses to acknowledge the danger in a caliphate, they continue right along with this administration, referring to extremist caliphate-seeking groups as moderate Islamists. Let me tell you something. The media is not inept. They are not just careless and reckless. The media is dangerous. They have become a danger to the freedom and liberty of mankind, not just into the Middle East, but all over the world, including here at home. Tonight, I will show you what they have ignored, what they have failed to report, and the consequences of their arrogance, stupidity. I want you to understand this. If they are the ones who are wrong, it equals the death of freedom and oppression and the death of all those who fail to agree with the Islamists. That's what happens if they're wrong. You better make sure you're not wrong about that. They are not incompetent. They are a danger to people who yearn to be free. If I am wrong, well, then we're stuck with a memory of being really freaked out of our mind for a while. And we remember when we bought all that extra food? Yeah, that's what happens if I'm wrong. If they're wrong, people die. This is not hyperbole. There are actual examples of what happens to those who live under extreme Islamic rules, and what happens to those who live under Islamic rules and then live an alternative lifestyle. If you live an alternative lifestyle, you're dead. That's what happens to you. You're dead. That's not hyperbole. It's backed up with facts and photos. If you commit adultery, well, they stone you to death. You forget to wear your headscarf to school. Well, this is what happens to you. You forget to wear your headscarf in school, you are left in a burning building to die. In fact, you're not just left in the burning building. The fire department does show up, but they can't go in because you don't have your headscarf. And so they put a bar in the doors. Well, girls inside pound on the doors, beg to be let out. The Islamic police don't let them out, and they all burn to death. That's not hyperbole. That's a fact. Look it up. If you happen to dishonor the family by wearing a short skirt, or you have an American boyfriend, dead. You believe in Jesus and say, he's my Savior, dead. If you're waiting for the Messiah because Jesus isn't your Savior, you believe in the Old Testament, you're a Jew, you're dead. If you're a Jewish reporter, you're dead. If you're thought to be a Jewish reporter, well, first, they rape you. And then, if people aren't around you, you're dead. By the grace of God, she's alive today, because there were some decent people in the crowd. Just to give you an idea of how backward our mainstream media is, the protector of freedom, I want you to see this image. This is the image, do you have it? This is the image of the people who raped her. And CNN actually blurred the rapist's image, the faces of the dirtbags who raped her. Now, wow. If I'm wrong, you have too much food and people make fun of you. If they are wrong, people die. This is evil. This is evil. And if you see it and you do not raise your voice, you will be held responsible. What is rising in the Middle East? By ignoring it, excusing it, or worse, enabling it, you are part of it. The media and those in power in our own country have announced themselves as an enemy to man's freedom and liberty. How can I possibly say that? Well, it would be irresponsible if I couldn't back it up. But now, a year later, I certainly can. Look at what the glorious revolution looks like today. Look at what your media and your guardians have given you. And they certainly won't point this out to you. Let's start our tour. Last year, this all started not because of Egypt, but because of something that nobody paid attention to. A little country named Tunisia. There was a guy who set himself on fire because he was tired of the oppressive regime. It was a pretty amazing act. It was a horrific act. This guy, he was innocent, but he didn't know what else to do. He needed to get people's attention. I said, please watch out. This moment is going to be the Archduke Ferdinand moment, the moment that sets the whole world on fire. The president, after mocking me and his minions mocking me, called him Rosa Parks. Well, maybe Rosa Parks, I guess, was a hero and did something pretty frightening. He did something pretty frightening. He set himself on fire, so I don't see the Rosa Parks there. But also, Rosa Parks, what she did, her action, it led to a civil rights movement. It led to more freedom. In Tunisia, it didn't. In Tunisia, over the last 12 months, the radical Islamist party, the Muslim Brotherhood affiliate in Tunisia, won 40% of the vote in October elections. That is only 16% of the Tunisians registered to vote in that election. That's pretty great, isn't it? That's what democracy looks like. The man likely to be Tunisia's first prime minister recently said, and I quote, "My brothers, you are at a historic moment in a new cycle of civilization, God willing. We are in the 6th Caliphate, God willing." Tunisia, where it all began. The elections have further emboldened radicals. Radical Islamists have seized control of hundreds of mosques because they're not Islamic enough. They've taken over the prayer halls because they're not Islamic enough. Islamists have occupied a university and prevented the schools from taking any exams because the institutions say you don't have to wear the face veil. That's not Islamic enough. The state now launching a state-run Islamic channel to help people understand their religion. Poverty and unemployment rates are extremely high, and so are tensions. People are gearing up to do battle with the hardline Islamists. Who do you think will win? You think the hardline Islamists are going to back down? They're here to establish a caliphate. You might as well say it's a 1,000-year Reich. They have God and history on their side. But let's move over now to Egypt. Egypt is where everyone said it's glorious. Nobody paid attention to Egypt, to Tunisia, except for you. But here Egypt, the whole world paid attention to Egypt, and that was glorious. And anybody who said anything differently, that's trouble. Well, they're experiencing economic ruin. And the IMF is about to bail them out, and guess who's going to send them more checks? Us. And that's the least of our problems. The military is still in power. The radical Islamist group, the Muslim Brotherhood, won 67% of the seats in the election just recently. And that's not counting all the other hardliners that are worse than the Muslim Brotherhood. Just recently, there have been more protests. Dozens of protesters of military rule have been killed. And then there's this video. Warning. It's extremely hard to watch. A video of a woman. They're just calling the blue bra woman. You will understand why. These are men beating on women. But this isn't a problem. Here's why they call her the blue bra woman. You see them stomping on her. I want you to know something. This network does have standards. I don't show you videos. I'm proud to say I am the only person, I believe, ever on Fox that never played any of the cheerleader videos or any of the salacious videos. We never did it because I treat you with respect. I think conservatives don't need that, don't want that. I know if I'm watching with my children, I don't want them to see this, and I apologize. But this country had pictures of the train tracks and the gas chambers at Auschwitz. We had them. It was taken by our bombers. We had them. We didn't show them to anybody. Because the people probably would have said, hey, maybe we should close that down. We should have shown them to the American people. It is important to show images, but they won't show these images. They won't show these images on TV. They won't show you the World Trade Center burning. They won't show you what's really happening in the Middle East. Why? Why? When we will all go put good money down to watch man's inhumanity to man at the movie theater. We'll watch people peel skin off of other people, but we'll watch that for entertainment because that's just a movie. No, we can't watch the other stuff because that's real. Shouldn't it be in reverse? Shouldn't we say as a society we don't want to see the fake stuff? But the real man being inhumane to man we should watch? So we will stop it, so it will stir something in us? Good heavens, America, life is not a movie. It's not a video game. It's real. People's lives are at stake, and I got news for you. Your life is at stake. And if you think that's hyperbole, then go back and watch the mainstream media spoonful of sugar every single day without a bit of medicine. There were more clashes with police just outside Cairo State Media Building, the same place where 25 Christian protesters were killed. Egypt's new leaders have called for an immediate end to the Israeli peace agreement, the Camp David Accords. End it. The supreme guide of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt just said the Brotherhood is close to achieving the ultimate goal set by the group's founder in 1928, an establishment of a just Islamic Caliphate. That's got to be crazy talk. He must be a conspiracy theorist. He's probably confident because the Brotherhood has cozied up now to the military, a relationship that has everybody else furious and freaking out.